Hey guys, and welcome to episode number 8 of the Airsoft Podcast, where we have Tyler, Shady.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And we also have Grin again.
Why am I here again?
Because Archer decided not to answer his phone.
Yeah, Archer, if you're listening to this, you should
We're
check your
disappointed
phone.
in you.
But yeah, I'm kind of confused at why Grin decided.
Because Tyler texted me and he was like, hey, we need people. And I was like, not in my right mind. So I agreed.
Yeah, and now he's regretting it since we started.
Perhaps.
I think he's thought about leaving about 4 different times. But
That's
anyways,
understating it.
in this episode we're going to talk, I know Shady and Grin are going to talk a little bit about the gas blowback side of Airsoft. And also we have a couple of different things in news, including Airsoft GI starting a store in the East Coast, along with some stuff from WillBTAP and Mad Bull. So you can look forward to that. And Tyler, what are you doing for your review?
I have a couple things up for review today. I actually got some Welco boots in earlier this week. I got them on sale, so I figured I'd do a quick review on those. And I'm also going to do a follow-up review, kind of a year back, a couple years later, look on my TM57, just to see how, just to show how it holds up over the years, how it looks, how it performs 3 years later as opposed to the day I bought it.
Yep. And also, Tyler still has his giveaway going around. It's the WE 1911, built from the ground up. All you have to do is like the Airsoft Podcast page and Copper Top Customs, and you're entered. I think there's a little over 50 likes left. So make sure you get into that. Anything else to say about that?
No, we're just waiting for once we get the likes in, and we're gonna sell it. We're gonna get rid of this pistol. So if you guys need a pistol, if you just want another one to have as a loaner gun or a backup, then definitely enter, as you might just get lucky.
And also, if you want to send us any emails, you can send me an email at WillBTAP@gmail.com or ShadyTAP@gmail.com. Or if you have any business-related emails, those go to TheAirsoftPodcast@gmail.com. We are still slowly working on getting our episodes onto iTunes. I think I have found a way for us to do it, so we will try to do that soon. I know we've been promising that since like the first episode, but it will happen, hopefully, sometime. And I don't really have anything else. Do you guys?
I don't. You want to get into the news?
Yep, so I guess we're going to news.
Alright, first up in the news, we have WillBTAP has revealed that they are now going to produce a electric SCAR L and an M16A3. So these will use their Katana split gearbox system, which will pretty much, is it compared, Green, I've noticed you kind of posted in the threads about this on the forum, is this more comparable to like the ICS split gearbox, or is this another training weapon type like the CTWs and the PTWs? I know I've seen both options posted on those threads.
Well, like, I'm not sure if you're just talking about the new M16 and the SCAR L. I don't know much about those. I mean, your link was the first I've heard of them. But the Katana system that I was posting about, that's supposed to kind of be reminiscent of the PTW system.
Yeah, because these are using the Katana system, so...
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just said that 30 seconds ago.
Sorry.
Open your ears, man.
But yeah, as far as I know, it's actually more close to ICS than a PTW just in terms of quality.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's a WE, so.
Yeah. What you got against WEs, man?
We'll cover that later when we talk about GBBs. It's going to use a version 2 gearbox to have safe semi-fully automatic as usual. It's kind of normal for AEGs. I was just looking at the pictures on AirsoftToday.com. We'll have links in the video description. They're looking pretty nice. I know their pre-production models always have this weird silvery look to them for some reason. They did it with their GBBRs, and now they're doing it with their electric rifles as well. But honestly, with the M16, that silver finish doesn't look too bad if they decided to keep that.
Oh god.
Pretty sure it's just pre-release.
Yeah,
they just don't
paint it.
Spend the money to get the anodization or whatever they use for their AGs. So.
Yeah, that dual-toned silver and tan Scar L looks horrible, though.
Both of them look horrible.
Yes, but the silver and tan, just no.
I honestly really like the look of the M16s. The M16A3 looks like it's gonna be a nice gun. I do really like M16s, and that's why I'm getting AK-47. Doesn't that make sense?
That makes perfect sense, man. Alright, on to more news. Mad Bull is releasing a licensed Troy Battle Axe stock, and based on what we're seeing on Arnie's Airsoft, it's going to have huge storage capabilities. These things can hold a PEC box LiPo and a stick-type battery at the same time. These things, they're absolutely huge. They do kind of sometimes look ugly depending on the gun, but with the battery storage in there, you can pretty much run for any battery you want in your rifle. You don't have to worry about, I have a crane stock, I can only use crane stock batteries. I have a full stock, I can use pretty much anything, but I can't adjust how it sits. So this is kind of like the best of both worlds.
It looks like there's also a compartment to stick in some CR123As, like next to the stick type.
Yeah, it does look like that, which would be kind of nice. Especially because I tend to kill batteries in my flashlight, horribly fast. That's because of the flashlight, though.
Yeah. It actually looks pretty cool. So,
it reminds me a lot of the Battle Link stock.
The what?
Battle Link, or the MFT Battle Link.
Yeah. Well, Battle Link, Battle Axe, close enough.
Yeah. Guessing it's gonna be pretty expensive, just because
it's licensed. It's Mad Bull.
Yeah, because it's licensed, and because it's Mad Bull. Next to Input News, we have Brass Guard is closing. Brass Guard is more so in Russia. They've been making the first quality metal mask they've been making for 6 years, but they're finally closing. But yeah, as I said, they were the first company to make quality metal wire masks. They were lightweight, durable, low profile, and fog free. So I don't know, because wire masks aren't allowed a ton of places. You have to have some type of sealed eye protection usually underneath them.
Yeah, well, the major thing here I've actually got a buddy of mine who's really big into the safety. He runs 3 or 4 different venues right now as far as running games goes. The big thing is, regardless of the mask, if it's a low quality wire mesh, then the BBs can go right through. If it's a really good steel mesh like these guys put together, and these guys have great masks. So a couple of the guys that I run with down here have them, and they're really, really nice masks. But the problem is, if somebody's using cheap BBs or just maybe a bad batch of BBs, if they hit that mesh, they can shatter, and then you get all these shards and stuff in your face, which can really cause big issues, especially if these shards get into your eye.
Yep. So that's the big problem with them. They are really nice masks. So it's I don't know. They've slowly been taking out the mesh masks in the United States. Not very many fields that I know of allow them. So I don't really see the use for them unless you're wearing. The only way I would see them allowed is to wear the fully sealed goggles underneath them.
Which defeats the purpose of them.
Yeah, which defeats the purpose. But except for guarding the other part of your face.
Yeah, but then you need to go with a mesh lower. I'd rather do that, honestly.
Well, I have a mesh lower in case I need it.
But these guys, their masks were probably the best ones available. They were even used by different police departments, including Los Angeles Police Department, for training purposes. Unfortunately, these guys, they just can't compete with the, little Chinese knockoff copies that everybody's buying because they're cheaper, and they don't know any better, but they buy the Chinese copies, so the original guys don't get the money that they need to keep going.
Which is pretty sad because they were making nice products.
Unfortunately, they had two different new masks that were supposed to come out actually April of this year, but it's highly unlikely that those will end up coming out now that the place is closed.
Yep, and so that's the end of that. And also, Zeta Labs, or they were a wholesale software shop, Airsoft Panda, are currently unknown. The president of the company was arrested in mainland China, so they're kind of just...
They've vanished.
Yeah, they've basically vanished from the scene. So, the warehouse is full of stuff, but...
It's not Airsoft,
now,
it's all
like
household stuff. Nobody's heard anything from the company besides the fact that the CEO, the president, whoever, was arrested. Which, I mean, it isn't too common in China, given that Airsoft is illegal over there. So that way, if a lot of Chinese people will get, a lot of the retailers or CEOs and stuff will end up getting arrested. You see that every now and then. A couple of years ago, I think a major one got arrested. I don't remember which company it was. It happens every couple of years around the Chinese New Year or late December, that kind of area is when it usually happens. This one, they haven't answered any emails from either distributors or the end user since December 22nd. So it's unlikely that we'll ever hear from them again, which is unfortunate. They had several really interesting replicas slated to come out that haven't been seen before, such as the ASVAL and the VSS Ventures. Those are likely to never come out now unless another company decides to pick up and start doing one.
Yeah, so it's pretty sad to see that, but it looks like all their employees basically jump ship and left. And no one knows where they are, so...
I'm just going to add in that the picture of their warehouse, where everything just, it just looks desolate, it almost looks like a scene from The Walking Dead. Just saying.
It does. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of stacks of boxes and stuff, and there's, 2 boxes with rifles. Just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, you would think they at least do something with them.
Yeah.
Nope.
These are nice rifles, though. What are those, Mosins?
They do look like nuggets.
Oh, well. I've been looking to get a hold of one of those, but I don't think they'll be able to now.
At least the price will shoot up.
Yeah, you're telling me. Maybe just custom make one from a bar, like a lot of people do.
Anyways, the last thing we have that I know of, unless you guys have any surprises, is Airsoft GI is planning to expand to the East Coast. So, it's not a confirmed spot, just the East Coast in general. So it's pretty cool.
I do believe they're moving somewhere around the Ballahack Field area in Virginia. I'm not sure where exactly that is because I don't pay attention to that kind of thing, being in Texas. But they're having their Bob versus Tim 4 at Ballahack, so I'm betting that their new store will be somewhere in that area.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I know me and Shady have said this, but it's weird how, just because of shipping, getting stuff from retailers, or wholesalers, Central U.S. basically has no huge superstores. Any big ones are on the East Coast or West Coast. Central U.S. has nothing. All our stores are local. So it would be cool if they did have one superstore that would expand to Central Oklahoma, or Central United States. But right now, it's West Coast or East Coast. It is pretty cool, though. Airsoft GI is expanding. Good to see for the Airsoft community.
I think I'm just going to go drive down to Airsoft GI right about now.
Shut up.
Oh, yeah. Shut up, please. I couldn't just decide to drive to an Airsoft store because I'd have to drive 2 hours.
Yeah, so would I, but it'd be worth it because the place is awesome. It's not a big Airsoft store, but they've got a wall and case, and then the rest of it's just military supply.
Yeah. That's the joys of living in Texas and Oklahoma.
There's joys of living in Texas and Oklahoma?
No.
Exactly.
Frito pie.
No, there's not that either. That's what Gooden is thinking. All we did in Oklahoma, Texas, is eat Frito pie.
And
Frito pie is good.
It is good.
I like Frito pie.
Yeah, all we do is eat Frito pie and shoot guns.
Damn right. America.
America.
Thanks, Obama.
Anyway, let's get on to our main segment. Today, Grin and I are going to discuss the different GBB companies, brands, what to look for, what to stay away from. Basically, the GBB version of what Grin talked about last week with gear. So, I'm going to go ahead and start off. I'm just going to throw this out there, but Tokyo Marui is my favorite brand of all freaking time for GBBs.
You're not getting any opposition there as far as like pistols go?
Their pistols are freaking awesome. I've been running their TM57 for 3 years now. I've used pretty much every brand of GBB pistol there is. I've used WE, I've used KJW, I've used KWA, KSC. I don't think I've used KSC yet. But that's about the only one I haven't used. And TM is by far my favorite. The quality control is there. The quality itself is there. The accuracy and range are just not beatable in stock form by any other GBB.
I'd agree. I mean, I've used less brands of pistols than you have. I mean, I'm pretty much stuck to KW. Yeah, KJW.
You can't say that with a straight face.
KJW, Tokyo Marui, and I've messed around with some KWAs. And Tokyo Marui hands down has that. I mean, the only downside is that you have to pay more money for metal body kit.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, having a plastic body isn't horrible. Especially like with the 5.7 that I have. I mean, the real steel isn't metal; it's plastic too. So having a plastic body on that really doesn't bother me.
Well, yeah, it's because you're using a plastic gun.
I mean,
it's like trying to get a metal body kit for an MP7.
Well, yeah, but I am getting a metal body kit made for my 5.7, so just because I like the metal sound. But I mean, honestly, it's not. Their plastic is good enough quality that it really doesn't bother me.
I don't know. It bothers me. But, I mean, their gas efficiency at the very least, not even mentioning the other upsides, is leaps and bounds ahead of almost every other company.
A buddy of mine, Expendable, I mean, you guys know him on the forums, but his 5.7, he got 3 magazines out of it in 20-degree weather.
Jeez.
I mean, that's awesome.
How much of a gas?
Propane. Oh. I know a lot of people say don't use propane in Tokyo Marui, it'll destroy the gun. That used to be true, but starting with when they released their new line of 1911s and their high kappas, they're completely okay to be used on propane. I've been using mine on just propane for 3 years.
Do you mix in silicone, right?
Yeah, I always do. I mean, just every 2 or 3 games, I'll put some silicone in there. Or if I'm just taking out to target practice at home, I'll use some silicone just to keep it lubed up.
Yeah.
You guys put the silicone. You guys put it inside the nozzle that you use to fill up your mag.
Oh, the adapter, like the little hole in the adapter for mine. I've got one of those metal adapters. It's too freaking small for me to hit that. So. Let's keep the perverted jokes off for now. So I'll just put the silicone oil on the top, in the top of the propane tank before I put the adapter on, and it works just fine. But let's see. Let's start with. How about we just start with the bottom of GBBs and work our way to the top as far as quality. Towards the and budget, especially towards the bottom of quality, you've got WE. Now these guns are
terrible.
Well,
just talking about the
use
WE guns.
Use one word to describe WE.
I got 3. Hit and miss. You can, I mean, they do put out some that will last a while. I won't deny that. I have seen WE pistols last a long time, but most of the time, your WE pistol will crash and burn within a year. Of course, personally, I usually don't own guns that long, but, you know, all the WEs I've owned, except for the ones that I personally built, have crashed within 6 or 7 months. And, you know, I'm a tech, I know how to take care of a GBB pistol. It doesn't matter what brand of pistol is, if I own it, I treat it like it's a child. One of my own children. I mean, every single pistol I own sits in a padded case unless I'm using it. It doesn't hang on the wall or it can fall off. It doesn't sit on my desk or it's going to get tossed around. Nothing. It is taken care of. And all these pistols will still break down.
WEs, I had I'm failing, but I've had 2 WEs, and both of them broke, or not broke, but one of them there was a part missing, and then the other one, it was having trouble. The hop-up was terrible, where it was the BBs would basically do corkscrews after about 30 feet.
Yeah.
So that's my experience with the WE.
Well, the one good thing to be said about WE is they are TM compatible. So anything that can go in a TM can go in a WE.
I mean, you kind of have that roundhouse, though, where you got TM, KJW, and WE all together, and you just kind of work all the other 2 brands up to being TM.
Yeah, but in the end, it's cheaper just to get a Tokyo Marui.
It could be.
Because you're just putting the parts from it.
But then again, most of the time, if I'm putting parts into a WE pistol, if I'm going to upgrade a WE, I'm not going to upgrade it with TM parts except for the hop-up. Everything else will be, you know, garter or other stuff, you know, shooter's design, that kind of thing. It's because these are upgrades that are made to upgrade TMs to the next level. So why go to TM level with something when you can just cut the TM level out and just make it better?
Yeah.
Now, with WE being around the budget line of $100 to $130, they're really not a bad choice for a beginner, but given that budget, you can also go with a KJW.
Ugh, they're mags.
Their magazines need work. I mean, their magazines do tend to leak a lot. My 226 magazine leaked from the factory when I got it from Airsoft Flat. All I had to do was literally 5 minutes. I took the base pins out, put a little bit of silicone oil around the base seal, put the pins back in, it shot fine, held gas just fine. So all it takes is about 5 minutes worth of work, but if you're not willing to put in those 5 minutes worth of work, just buy a Tokyo Marui magazine because they're completely compatible.
Well, I did like blue gasket fix my KJW magazine. By the time I was able to go out and actually use it in that game instead of just plinking, they were already leaking again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was not my best blue gasket fix, but at the same time, it still worked.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on the problem. I guess mine was one of the lucky ones as far as being leaky. But when it comes to the quality of the pistol for what you're paying, I would rather buy a KJW and have a leaky magazine that I can fix pretty simply than buy a WE that's going to crash and burn within a couple of months. The KJWs will last far, far longer.
Yeah.
And the gas efficiency is there, the accuracy is there, it's all just for the same price, it's better than WE. I'll admit, KJW doesn't make many types of pistols. Yeah,
all you need is a SIG.
Oh yeah, and the KJW SIG 226 is arguably, next to Tokyo Marui, the best one on the market right now.
I realize that I say this to a guy who I'm hiring to make a 1911 for me.
Oh, I mean, with the 226, the KJW, if you have to have metal in your gun, on your gun, the KJW is the best on the market. If metal doesn't matter to you, if you want plastic, then go with the TM. But, you know, you can take a KJW, I've done it before, you just take a KJW and upgrade it with all TM parts and it's perfect. And you got the metal body for less than the $200 garter kit, and you've got Tokyo Marui internals.
1 second, I'm gonna close my door.
Aren't some KJWs CO2?
Some KJW, well, I wouldn't say the KJW is CO2. They offer CO2 magazines, but the guns they also have green gas magazines that fit the same gun.
Yeah.
Okay. So do they come with CO2 mags?
It depends on which one you
gas?
buy.
Generally, they come with green gas mags.
Well, it depends. You know, if you go into e-bike, they have the option with their 1911 that you can buy it, that it comes with the green gas mag, or you can buy it that it comes with the CO2 magazine.
Okay. Do you think CO2 affects the performance?
CO2 will affect the performance. It'll make it shoot a little bit harder because of how compressed it is and the PSI level.
It'll work better in colder weather.
It will. That's about the only upside of using CO2. That's about the only time I would use CO2. Otherwise, you're just going to put more wear and tear on your gun, and it's just going to fail quicker. It doesn't matter what brand it is. But yeah, KJWs are probably the best budget pistols you can buy, especially since the only other ones are HFC and WE. And HFC really doesn't have that many options besides, their Darkhawks and their M9. The Darkhawks I've heard good things about, but they're $60 pistols. So, if you
Don't
really
expect too much out of them.
Yeah, don't expect too much. Next up in the line, we've got KWA.
Gas system is amazing, I'm just going to say
KWA.
that.
No, it's not.
Well,
No, it's not.
I like it, okay?
I hate it. It's, their NS2 system, it's advertised as being so efficient and all that thing. It's no better than Tokyo Marui. It's worse than Tokyo Marui. I get the price is lower, but, you pay what? Between $140 and $180 for a KWA? You pay between $160 and $200 for a TM. So for in the same price range to just about maybe $20 over, you can get a far better pistol. KWA's system is also proprietary, which means there are no upgrades available. When something breaks, you're gonna have to replace it with stock KWA parts. I understand their customer service is good to deal with and that kind of thing, but you're still replacing it with stock KWA parts, the same parts that just broke on you, whenever they broke. If it 3 months, 6 months, a year, it's still gonna break. Now, KWA, a lot of people like their 1911s and their SIG, but their main things you need to watch out for, the guns you should not buy from KWA, is their M93R is horrible.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's absolutely horrible. Especially with the Sears. The Sears will grind down and be nothing in no time, and you'll end up having only your semi-automatic, or your fully automatic instead of semi 3-round and full. So then you're kind of SOL for a pistol. Another thing you need to not look at, definitely not buying from KWA, is the ATP. I've heard a couple of people like their ATP, but locally I've just seen them breaking all over the place. Every one I've seen locally has busted.
Oh, and on their PTPs, the trades are the ugliest things ever if you like trades.
The only ugliest trades I've seen are on the Linux.
You have a point there.
Yeah, the Linux trades are ugly, but the KWA are just horrible. Especially if you're a GBB tech like I am, a KWA is absolutely horrible to work on. The trigger mechanisms are 100% proprietary. The takedown and everything is way different from everything else out there. I've got a USP here that I've been working on for about a month, just trying to get it taken down to replace the snap trigger. I haven't even gotten it to the trigger yet in a month. Because this thing is that freaking complicated to take down. I'm just at the point to throw it across the room. Because honestly, it'll probably work better if I do that than it will stock. But it's just one of those things where they're nice. I mean, the externals are nice, and the internals are okay. But for the price you're going to pay for those, you'd be better off buying a KJW and having the spare money left over for a spare magazine, like needing to buy a Tokyo Marui magazine if you get a leaky one from the factory, or throwing some upgrades into it to go ahead and start getting it up to TM quality or higher. Other brands we can look at are KSC. KSC is pretty much KWA's Swiss sister company, but you've got the way I compare these two is you got the really attractive sister and you got the really ugly sister.
Oh god.
And you got to pick one. You always go with who are you going to go with? You're always going to go with the attractive sister. That would be KSC.
Talking about a really ugly sister, Archer just logged on.
Oh.
I mean, if you got a really, you go with KSC. The quality, they're pretty much the same internally as a KWA, but the quality control is far better. You're going to have less breakdowns, and the materials used are better materials. Their M93R doesn't break down like KWA's does. Their pistol USP doesn't have the trigger snap issue that KWA's does, and they offer pretty much all the same models except for the 1911 PTPs. They don't have a PTP line, which is good because of the ugly as hell trades. So, you gotta
summing this up way too well for me to add in anything.
If you got something to add, go ahead.
No, that's the problem, I don't.
Well, you need to learn more.
Well, I'm better at rifles than pistols.
You want to talk about rifles too?
We can talk about rifles if you would like, but right now we're going well with pistols.
Alright. We're gonna stick with pistols for now, because I really don't care about rifles.
Dick.
I like my AAGs. I'll stick with my AAG rifle. Because I don't think there's a single GBB rifle out there, besides maybe the Chris, that shoots, will shoot 25 rounds a second.
You don't need that.
I do. Because
Go get a Polar Star, noob.
No, it makes children wet themselves, and I hate the freaking hose. I hate the Polar Star hose. I will never use a Polar Star simply for that reason.
We talked about this last time, remember?
Yes, we did. Back on topic.
He says, get away from Polar Star.
Okay, after KSC, you got Tokyo Marui, and I think we've already covered the Tokyo Marui side of things. There's really no downsides except for the plastic body, and even then, unless you're a metal addict like freaking Grin here, you'll be fine. So the last company I really want to cover is Western Arms. These pistols, the externals on these things are just incredible. These also run on a proprietary system. I don't think they use the Magna system anymore, Grin. Do you know which system they use now?
Not sure.
I think they discontinued the Magna system a couple of years ago. WA doesn't really do too much as far as releasing they do release new things every year, but they're just rehashes on the old stuff. So it's not like they're bringing out a new system or really a new platform. It's just kind of a different look to the same pistol. They discontinued their pistols after a year and a half or a year or so of running. So finding replacement parts and replacement magazines for these is really hard to do, which is the main reason that they are widely regarded as collector's guns now. Most of their pistols are plastic as well, but it's a extremely high quality plastic. I had one of the old 1911s that I do believe ran on the Magna system, the single stack 1911. This thing, I had no idea it was plastic until I started taking a magnet to it, because I thought it was completely metal. I mean, it sounded metal, it felt metal, but once I started playing around with it, I realized it actually was plastic. You got anything, Gray?
Once again, you're kind of covering everything, Dick. I mean, yes, I do prefer metal things, unless, the real thing is not supposed to be metal, like MP7 or the 5.7. I will go out of my way to get a metal body kit for it.
No, the thing is, I mean, there are metal body kits available, but they're pricey. If I'm going to have the quality there of the Tokyo Marui, I don't care about the metal so much. I mean, yeah, I can save up for a little while and throw metal on it, especially if I'm buying something like the Tokyo Marui Desert Eagle. You got something like a Desert Eagle, you need to have metal, because a plastic Desert Eagle is just wrong on so many levels.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got the quality.
No. Well, what do you guys think? Well, I know kind of what what Shady thinks, but what do you guys think about the Elite Force?
The Elite Force GBBs, they haven't been out for very long. I think they've only been out for a year, 6 months, somewhere around there.
Something like that.
From what I've seen on them, they seem alright. I mean, these are CO2 blowback 1911s that retail for about $100 in that price range. So they're about the KJW W price range.
It's like it's $100 for the standard A1 and $120 for the TAP.
But they do fire what is widely regarded as field legal velocities of 350 with .2 BBs. So they have the advantage of shooting field legal, which a lot of CO2 pistols don't. Most of them do shoot too hot for fields to allow. It's just an Elite Force thing that allows them that. They can use I guess the blowback helps them out there, because most CO2 pistols are non-blowback. But from what I've seen, I haven't seen a lot of breaks yet on them, but like I said, they've only been out so long, so even if they do break in the same time range as a WE would, they haven't reached that time that they've been released yet to know how long their life is.
Very true.
Yeah. One thing I've heard about them is the kick is like a mule. I've heard the kick is amazing on
I've heard that. Actually, one of my friends won one at the at Reindeer Games last year. But he didn't get a chance to use it because of the ruffles after the game, of course. I'll try to go hold him and see what he thinks of his. But, I've heard good things about him, but at the same time, they've only got the one model, and it's 1911. So if you're in a cold weather area, up north, somewhere around there, that you're going to need a GBB that will work in the cold weather, I'd definitely pick up an Elite Force. But if you're in an area where it's warm all the time, where you don't have to worry about cooldown and cold weather using a GBB, I'd rather just pick up a KJW and have more options to choose from.
But underneath the same umbrella of Elite Force is Umarex, and they do have the HK pistols, which...
You gotta remember, Umarex isn't a manufacturing company, they're the licensing company that holds the HK licenses that gives out to... They allow KWA to make the licensed USPs, they allow, and the MP7s, that kind of thing. They are the ones that allow Elite Force and VFC to manufacture the licensed VFC 416s, the 417s, that kind of thing. So they're not really a distributor or a manufacturer so much as they are just a licensing company.
To be completely honest, they kind of have a monopoly.
They do, but I'm not 100% sure Umarex is a U.S. company.
I do not believe they are.
Which means that the U.S. monopoly laws don't cover them. So, if...
they have a Umarex USA. I'm not sure. I think they're German.
Umarex USA, their office is in Arkansas.
It depends, because it's not that they have the monopoly on the product itself. They have the monopoly on the trades. Which means, and a company is allowed to give their trades to whoever they want. So just because Umarex has the trademark allowance, that doesn't give them a monopoly on the product. Because, as you've seen other people bring out, the unlicensed copies, JG's G36, JG, AGM, Echoes 416, that kind of thing. So, now that a lot of cases, they're not stopping their manufacturing just because HK is now enforcing the trademark thing in the U.S. They're still making it. It's just going to be harder to import into the U.S., kind of like with Glock. So, KSC hasn't stopped making their Glocks. It's just that they're really hard to get into the U.S.
Yeah.
And I think that's all we've got on GBBs, unless y'all have any other questions or comments you'd like to throw in there.
Nope.
God, I'm blanking. I had one stored up for when you were done talking about it, and now I can't remember it. God dang it.
That talked too long for you?
Dang it, Will, why'd you make me do this?
Actually, I believe I was the one who called you, said, hey, we need you.
I guess we'll just move on.
Don't blame me.
Alright, let's move on to our reviews. For our first review today is more of a follow-up review, honestly. We have the FN57 by Tokyo Marui. This gun is absolutely gorgeous. It's by far my favorite GBB that I've ever owned. I've had it for 3 years now. When I first got it, that is just absolutely perfect. Perfect, crisp, nice crisp blowback, easy slide pull. The only thing I really don't care for on it is that the trigger pull is really long. It's actually not as long as my Glock, but it's still pretty long. It's still a pretty tough trigger pull. Requires some good weight to move it, which is good because it means you mean pulling the trigger. It's not I accidentally pulled the trigger. You have to actually mean it when you pull that trigger for the thing to go off. It definitely helps with the safety. One thing I've seen with the Marui, one difference I've seen between the Marui and the Marusian I have is that with the Marusian I have, when you slide it into a Serpa holster for the 5.7, the way the Serpa is designed and the way the Marusian, the safety is loose on it, when you put it into holster, the holster automatically pushes the safety into safe position. So no matter what, as long as it's holstered, it's in safe. The TM has a stiffer safety, so it doesn't do that, but the safety still works perfectly. It's, like I said, it's stiffer, but it's easy to move in a hurry if you need to. The only issues I've had in the 3 years I've used the Tokyo Marui is that it started to do light striking, which means it gets hot when it's hot out, and the pressure buildup from the propane in the magazine is really high. The hammer spring is losing its tension, and it's not able to hit the magazine release valve hard enough to release the gas and fire the gun. Which is kind of a bummer, but it's easily fixed by using duster gas like you're supposed to use in Tokyo Maruis, but nobody does because it sucks.
Because screw that.
Well, duster gas gives you a lower velocity, lower gas efficiency. It's just not the better option unless you have to use it. Like in the older model Tokyo Maruis, like an old M9 line, that kind of thing. Now, other things you want to look at on the Tokyo Marui FN57 is that the trades are not FN trades. They look like the FN trades, but if you look closely, they actually say TM in there instead of FN. This is to avoid some licensing issues that FN was having for a long time.
It still looks good.
It looks amazing. It looks really ornate. It looks like the FN trades. It does have the Cal 5.7 by 28 on the slide, which is nice. And if you're looking at buying a 5.7 and they don't know what brand it is, that they're trying to, or if they're trying to claim it's a Tokyo Marui, but you're not sure, because the Tokyo Marui and the Marushin look extremely similar. The only things that I'm really seeing differently between the two, from just over glancing at it, is the Marushin does not have any trades on the slide that I can see. Of course, the previous owner of this one painted over the slide, so if there are trades you really can't see them that well anyway. The grip also just has an IM on it, or MI from Marushin Industries, instead of TM for Tokyo Marui. That's on the left side of the pistol, where the slide release and your mag release are. On the right side of the pistol, the Tokyo Marui, right there next to the safety, will say Made in Japan Tokyo Marui, Company Limited. And it also has the Cal 5.7 by 28. And it looks like, from what I can see through the paint on the Marushin, that one has it as well. Has the 5 by 7 or 5.7 by 28. So those are consistent.
I thought you were gonna say Cal 8mm.
No, oh. I wish I had them 8mm Marushin, but I know a guy that has one. He's not selling it. So I told him if he's
I just hate when the trades point out that it's an airsoft gun.
Yeah. The Marushin also says Marushin Industry Company Limited, Made in Japan, on the left side. And on the chamber of the Marushin, it says 6mm BB. Now, the Tokyo Marui on the chamber actually says 5.7 by 28. So this one does have the real caliber markings on it, as opposed to BB markings, like KWA tries to do with their 6mm or their weird trademark kind of thing. The Tokyo Marui also has the ASGK marking on it, which is a surefire way to make sure it's a Tokyo Marui, because Marushin does not have that at all. They have no markings on the rear, right above where the crook of your thumb goes into the grip. Really nice to see that there. You always want to look for that if you're trying to figure out if it's a Marushin or Tokyo Marui.
So, which one would you suggest more, the Marushin or the Tokyo Marui?
The Tokyo Marui, honestly. I have the Marushin, I use it sometimes, but the Marushin slide is really loose, as you can kind of hear it rattling around, and that's just me just barely touching it. I'm sure you can hear that, right?
Yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah, and then I can do the same thing to the Tokyo Marui, and nothing happens.
Hey Tyler, I can play with my guns too.
Anyway, you can do the same thing to the Tokyo Marui and you don't have the sound. The Tokyo Marui is just more solid overall. The Tokyo Marui also has the accuracy and the gas efficiency that you want, as well as having a stiffer safety, and the magazine release is also much stiffer on the Tokyo Marui, so it's going to be a lot harder to accidentally eject magazines. The Marushin also has a really weird sight, So if you accidentally take out one screw like I did, the sights just kind of flop, and that's it. You know, nothing. They just flop. The Tokyo Marui actually has the correct 5.7 sights, which is really nice to see. Then, they have the correct sights. The Tokyo Marui magazine actually has a plastic base plate, which doesn't bother me, as opposed to the metal base plate on the Marushin. Now, one thing to note between the two is the magazines are not compatible at all. The magazine for the Marushin will get maybe halfway into the Tokyo Marui before it refuses to go any farther. I'm not sure what causes that as far as the design differences inside the guns, mostly because I haven't gotten into tearing them down as much, mostly because I don't like messing with those kind of things that are already pretty nice. I feel like if I mess with them too much, then when I put them back together, then they're not going to be as good as they were before, just because of how good they are stock.
Whenever I mess around with stuff, it just breaks.
Which is why we don't let you touch our stuff.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well, my stuff has a restraining order on you.
Okay, that's like everyone else in the world.
Anyway, just closing this out, the Tokyo Marui 5.7 is probably the best GBB I've ever owned. I got it on WGC for $168, and it didn't even come with an orange tip. The way it came, it had a red barrel plug, which was perfect because I hate orange tips with a fiery passion. So getting it without an orange tip, where you just take out the red barrel plug and you're good to go, it was perfect. Magazines for this are slightly expensive. They're $35 on WGC, but you also have to factor in shipping from Asia, so they're going to be pricey that way. Or you can get them on e-bike, but they're $50 on e-bikes. That's the same price as getting a GBBR magazine, and the GBBR magazines hold more gas, hold more ammo, but at the same time you got a really nice, unique gun that will make all the little, especially now the Call of Duty Model 3 is out, makes all the little COD noobs say, "Oh my god, 5.7! You don't know how much of that I've seen just in the last month or two.
No, I completely understand.
I get people like, "What's that on your back? Is that a USP?" No. And then you pull it out and they're like, wetting themselves because it's a 5.7. Like, "Oh, I've always wanted to touch one." It's kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, it's kind of nice to get the attention. Maybe I'm just an attention whore, but I like it.
Back in my day, the only people who knew about the tar were Israeli enthusiasts.
Yeah.
Don't even talk about Israelis.
Oh, just stop with that. No.
Wait,
Stop.
what? Oh Lord, you guys.
That wasn't even the right ethnicity to be making that comment about.
Oh.
That's
Yeah,
close.
let's not get into that, Will. Your little band.
You're thinking of Islamic, not Israeli.
Oh. You were a little bit off there, Will. Okay, but like closing up, the Tokyo Marui 5.7 is just for $168. There's not a pistol in that price range that will beat it for range, accuracy, reliability. Like I said, I've had it for 3 years running on propane only, and it's still going like the day I bought it. Besides the slight light striking issue during the summer, which down here in Texas it gets to I play 105, 110 degree heat during the day. So I mean that thing gets pretty heated and pressurized, and it just doesn't have the strength to hit that anymore. Okay, so for our next review, we got the Welco tan men's boots. Anyway, getting into these boots. I got these on sale. They usually retail for about $140, $150. I got these on sale actually for $30 shipped, brand new. These are actually, I guess they were on clearance, and just because they had ordered too many, so they didn't have that many sizes to choose from. Luckily, they did have my size, so I was rather happy about that. Just looking at these, I've used them. I've worn them 4 or 5 times now, just testing them out. They are pretty well waterproof, except for obviously the vents on the boots get rid of water when it gets in there. But they dry out, and the vents work really well. I stepped in some water and got my feet soaked, and they were dry within an hour. And then it's got this mesh up at the top inside that, if you're not wearing really high socks, kind of rubs and itches, but that's normal. You know, if you're wearing boots like this, you're going to need to have high socks on, no matter what is at the top. The tread on it is really nice. Grips pretty much everything unless they get wet and you get on tile. If your boots are wet and you get on tile with these, they're just going to slip a little bit. But every now and then you'll hit a little slip. But that might just be a manufacturing defect that I got, especially since I did get these on clearance. Another thing is the laces. They don't come laced up, which is kind of nice. I just had my brother teach me how to lace them for ROTC. Well, he does ROTC, so he just told me how the Marines lace them, and I did it that way. And the laces are really rough, so when you're trying to get these pulled tight for you to lace them up and everything, it does kind of wear on your fingers, and it hurts like hell. But other than that, these are real nice. Got a nice thick sole. You're not gonna, if you step on a nail or something, it's not gonna go through that. And I'm pretty sure I could take a hammer and drive a nail, or try to drive a nail into this, and it would take a lot of effort to get it to go through.
Yeah, my team has had, or at least Blue Team specifically, has had issues with nails before.
Yeah, I mean, the places I play at, especially now this new place I'm playing at, D14 Airsoft's, their new facility.
Nice plug there.
What?
Nice plug.
You're welcome. But their new facility down in Hillsborough, it's the old, factory kind of thing. And we did a cleanup day there yesterday. Just a whole bunch of nails and just weird stuff laying around that you don't really want to step on. We cleaned it up, of course, now, but, stepping on that kind of stuff in these boots, I didn't notice a problem. And there's no holes or anything in the bottom of these boots at all from stepping on that kind of thing. One other thing I'm getting with these, again, this might be manufacturing issues since I got them on clearance, or it might be normal. There's a lot of loose, kind of like fuzzies off of the leather, and some strings are loose as far as lacing in the different sections of the boot. I'll have pictures up later, of course, to show where it's kind of weird at, where it's just not perfected, which again, like I said, may be a reason I got it on clearance. Either way, if you get these on the clearance price of $30, they're really nice boots. If you're gonna pay the full retail price for them, I would probably go with something else, probably Bates or Belleville, or even go start looking into the Merrell kind of thing if you want to go either Mill Sim or if you just if you want to go into the Mill Sim or you don't want the huge 8-inch boot if you just want the hiking boot style. Personally, I'm not into the hiking boot kind of thing. If I want to use hiking boots for airsoft, I'll just go to freaking Walmart and buy hiking boots. They might not be the fancy Merrells, but they're hiking boots. So
Merrells are not that fancy.
Yeah. Well, they're $100 freaking, so I think I'm going to go get.
It's not that bad for good hiking boots.
Yeah, I just buy $40 ones at Walmart and call it good.
And kill your feet.
That's why I don't use hiking boots at all. I use these regular, the Merrell ones. Or the Wilcos. Why did I say Merrell? It's your fault, Grin.
It is not my fault at all. I do nothing but advocate Merrells.
That's why it's your fault. The Merrells are these Wilcos. God damn it, Grin.
See? You even want Merrells. It's subconscious.
Yeah. These Wilcos, I got mine in 11 wide, because I got big freaking feet. At least wide. But they're nice and comfy. There's a lot of extra room in there. I was surprised by that. So I really have to tighten them up. But once you get them nice and tight, they don't move around at all. Which does present a little bit of a breathing issue, but as long as you're not wearing them for, a week straight, something like that, if you like going to, Brigade or something like that, then you'll be fine.
I would gladly wear my Merrells for a week straight.
Yeah, well, shut up. Oh, leave the poor gear whore alone. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've got to say about these Welcos. For the $30 I paid for them, I'm rather impressed, but when it comes to the actual retail price of around $140 to $150, I'd rather just grab something else. The quality's just not there for the $150 price tag. They're the KWA of the boot world. you get it for $30, it's a good buy.
Yeah. So, is that all you have?
Yeah, I think that's all I've got this week for reviews. I'm hoping to get some more stuff in later that I can start do a review on. I'm actually working on a BB study between Elite Force, Airsoft Elite, and my BioVal, if Castaway ever ships those. I ordered last Friday and they haven't shipped yet.
Wow.
Like, not 2 days ago Friday, the Friday before.
Dang.
Yeah. So obviously I'm not too happy with those guys right now, but I know the owner, so I'll be giving him a call in not too long here. Have you guys got any other questions about either of the things I reviewed?
Nope.
Good.
I am going to sit in my silence.
Aw,
With my
you thought
unhappiness.
because I insulted Meryl.
Yes.
Aw, poor Gwen. Why don't you tell us why Meryl's are a good choice? Just,
Because they're the bestest.
What makes them the bestest?
Well, for one, they're not that bad, not that bad of a price for such a good boot.
Okay.
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 I need good ankle support because, if I do too much, for some reason I have sucky ankles I got from my mom, so, my ankles, I will just literally collapse.
Oh, that was.
Those give out. So, the ankle support in them are great. I've actually stepped on nails with these, mind you, since I said that Blue Team has problems with nails. And nothing happened to me. Eureka.
No technique. That's gay.
And really the only problem I've had with them is that if you're wearing cries, which is really a gear whore problem, first world problems, if you're wearing cries, it's kind of hard to put the pants over the boots and then tighten them because they're wide at the top.
Okay.
That's really the only problem I've had with them.
Okay, so for the price tag, Meryl is a good choice as opposed to getting something else, unless you can find something else on sale.
If you have $100 to spend, or $115, I think I bought mine for, and you want a good brand of boots, Merrell's are a good choice. There's also Loas and Aslos and Solomons and stuff for comparable prices, I believe.
Right, so, boots really aren't, footwear isn't really something you should skimp on. So,
Oh no, definitely not. That's why I was saying that I chose these. I would gladly go around for a week in these because I chose them because I prioritize boots over even my plate carrier.
Yeah, and another thing about boots is it's important to have them because once you roll your ankle once, it's easy to do it many times, or you sprain it, then it just makes it easier for you to sprain your foot again. Every time you do it, it's easier for your foot to be sprained. And it's easier to sprain your foot if you're just wearing something besides boots. It's not very wise of you to do that just because of the safety involved also. And that's all I have to say.
I wouldn't consider boots a part of your gear so much as I would consider them part of your safety equipment. Because, you can play airsoft without a vest, you can play without a helmet, you can play without the elbow and knee pads, that kind of thing. A holster, you don't need that stuff to play airsoft. All you need to play airsoft is, obviously, clothing, because nobody wants to be naked playing airsoft. And if you
really? You should try it, it's fun.
It's something really you do. You need your gun, and then you need your safety equipment. And, iPro is obviously something you shouldn't skip on because you only get one pair of eyes. And your boots. You gotta have good boots. You gotta have the ankle support because you never know what you're gonna step on out there in that field. Not to mention, if you play down here in Texas, you go to a good field. Or the field I'm playing at next month, we had a fire out there last summer I went on, and, jump off the truck, and 10 feet away there's a 4-foot rattlesnake. You need a good pair of boots. It's something that's not gonna get you through.
I must say that I've never really run into too many rattlesnakes out here. I have run into a couple snakes, not rattlesnakes.
That's because you're in California.
Yeah.
There
are rattlesnakes out here. There are a crap load of rattlesnakes.
I'm sure Will knows what I'm talking about as far as snakes on the field.
Snakes on the plane.
Yeah. But anyway, that's really all I've got to say about these boots is, they're good if you get them on clearance, but if you're going to pay the full price for them, buy something else. And that's all I've got for reviews this week. Next week, I'm not sure what I'm going to have on as far as reviews. I'll probably do a gloss over of my G&P zombie killer, and I might just go over one of my other pistols, probably, or maybe like 226, or maybe go through some of my 1911s and see what kind of stuff I've got to play with.
And next
get something else.
Next time, be sure to get Archer on here instead of me.
No.
Oh, don't you like this, Grin?
No.
Oh, you're just grumpy because I insulted your boots.
I am still grumpy.
Actually, next week,
Thank you a cookie.
next episode, we should have an interview with Mule from Airsoft Megastore. So,
Ooh.
we've been trying to get him on for a long time, but he's his main job is not at Airsoft Megastore. It's he's actually a heart doctor, I believe, and so he hardly has any Sundays off. But he had the next Sunday that we're going to do the podcast off. So he said he would be glad to do an interview with us. So that's what we have planned.
Okay, I'm gonna send a list of things that I want Tyler to talk with him about.
Does this mean I need to stop my Airsoft Megastore hating for at least 2 hours?
It's not like he's really
You
affiliated.
can do it through my questions, don't worry.
It's not like he's really affiliated with the Airsoft Megastore, except that he's in their videos.
Okay. Well, if any of our listeners out there, besides obviously Grin, has any questions they want to send in for us to ask, Mule, feel free to send them to either the podcast email or Will or myself. We'll definitely get those taken care of. Besides that, do you guys have anything else before we close this thing out?
Nope, we'll have all the links for all the news in the description, along with maybe other links.
Yeah, we'll have links to the, actually where I got these wall codes on sale. We'll also have links to where you can find the TM57 if you guys are interested in buying one of those. Keep in mind that those are really hard to find in stock, but every now and then you'll find one. And they're always worth the buy if you do.
And I think that's all we have, and so we will see you guys next time.